There's always a big conversation to be had about whether anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. Well, we're going to be talking about that today. I'm Tal, the traveling clad, your favorite Zionist prince. Let's get right into it.
Thank you. Can we have some questions to our other two speakers now?
Speakers, for the motion, I'd like to ask you to comment on Nakba and how do you think Palestinians should be dealing with the consequences of Nakba? Thank you.
Einat, I want to hear from you first on the question of Nakba, which is, who would like to just define Nakba the best for us? Ilan, you're the historian.
About what?
The Nakba.
Yeah.
I did?
Can you define the Nakba?
Oh, the Nakba. Okay.
Very, very quickly. I want to ask Einat the question.
Okay.
Just give us the historical definition in a sentence.
Yeah. The Nakba is an operation of ethnic cleansing, which was a systematic expulsion of the Palestinians in order to de-Arabize Palestine and create on its ruins a Jewish state.
In 1948.
In 1948, but
okay, thank you.
No, it's important to say. The Nakba continues because only 50% of the people were expelled and only 80% of the land was taken. The Nakba continues every day in Gaza, in Nablus, in the Galilee, in the Nakab, and we should have a discussion about the destruction of Palestine and not about the nonsense that we're hearing here tonight.
Obviously, this is the Palestinian term for what happened in 1948. It means catastrophe. Einat, I'm not sure if you accept that definition we just heard from Ilan, but anyway, deal with it. This is the Palestinian term for what happened in 1948. It means catastrophe. Einat, I'm not sure if you accept that definition we just heard from Ilan, but anyway, deal with the question.
That was not a definition.
Okay,
But the story is very simple. The Arabs of the land, the Palestinians, could have had again and again and again a state of their own. They could have had it in half of the land, in 80% of the land. But every time when they were told, you can be masters of your fate in part of the land, but in another part, the Jews will be masters of their fate, no longer inferior to you, no longer submitting to you. Their choice again and again and again to the present has been to fight for all. They have again said, if we have to live next to sovereign Jews, better to fight until they are not there at all. And I will say this again, when you fight us, 3 years after a genocide, and you wage a genocidal war, telling us that we have no right to defend yourself, then we will fight you back. We will defend ourselves.
Okay,
and
right,
we are
we're leaving that.
To
we're leaving that there.
This
that's
land.
That's enough.
But if you are telling us that it is
you've made your
all
point.
or nothing,
You've made the point.
then you sometimes have nothing.
Well, we're running out of time.
Hi. Well, to paraphrase Bret Stephens and Peter Beinart, anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism, but it might as well be, practically speaking. But we're dealing with a lot of semantics here, and my question is, I'm having a little identity crisis. I'm Jewish, I'm a Zionist, I'm deeply troubled by 1948. I wouldn't call it ethnic cleansing, Mr. Pape. It was a strategic choice. We need to do, okay? It was a strategy because it was a time of war. My question is, why are we, this is almost masturbatory, you should pardon the expression. What is the solution? We're all thinking kind people. What is the solution?
Two sentences, please.
What is the solution? It depends on what the problem is. If you define the problem in the Middle East as a contest between two people with the rights to the land over the boundaries of that land, then you end up precisely where we are. But in my view, that's not the situation at all. The real situation is different. If you want a solution to the real problem, you have to stop the 100-year attempt to exterminate Israel as a nation-state of the Jewish people and to exterminate the right of the Jews to live in Israel as their own sovereign country. That is what the situation is in the Middle East. However you like to reframe it, that is what the problem is. If you want a solution, you have to stop people trying to commit a genocidal assault upon the right of the Jews to live in their own country. Once
Melanie,
you stop that, you've got the solution.
Ilan, what is the solution? If you could just give me 2 sentences, I'd be grateful.
Yeah. The only viable solution is to change a reality where between the River Jordan and the Mediterranean, you have now 12 million people, 6 million Palestinians without any human rights and civil rights, and 6 million Jews with all the privileges in the world. Only one state that ensures equal rights for everyone, regardless of their nationality, religion, race, or gender. is the only solution, and the return of the refugees that have been expelled.
Yes, because the region is known for having so many of those states. The only response is for the Arab world to finally say something very simple: welcome home. To accept us as an indigenous people who are in their land, to accept us as equal claimants to the land, not exclusive, not superior, but people have an equal right to finally be masters of our fate in a land of our own, in part of the land, next to Arabs who will be masters of their fate in part of the land. That's the only way to live together.
And Medhi.
Yeah, actually, I don't totally agree with the not Wilf there, because I really like what she says, but I believe in one state, but not one democratic state, because I don't think we just can't do it. You know, it's not going to work out. We can't do a democratic state. It's just not going to work out. But this misrepresentation by Ilan in the video, calling it an apartheid ethnic cleansing, why are there so many Palestinians why are there so many rich Palestinians in Israel? Like, you really got to give me like an answer to like if they're so suffering and this is such a malnourished population that's really just living in the worst human, and they have no human rights, the way he was saying, why are there Palestinians in the Knesset? Why is my landlord Palestinian? Why is my landlord Arab? I just need to understand the semantics of this situation. It's so frustrating because I'm like, wait, hold on. Did I stop being an Arab Jew? I don't believe I'm an Arab Jew, yeah? But for the sake of the argument, I'm an Arab Jew. I'm an Arab. I have equal rights. So what are you on about? What's your point? I'm an Arab, just like a Palestinian, am I not? I'm an Arab Jew, different faith. There's an Arab Christian, there's an Arab Muslim, Arab Jew. Am I not an Arab Jew according to your worldview? I have equal rights. I'm not suffering. 80% of the Israeli population is Mizrahi Jewish, which means they're Arab Jews, which means... Are you going to make the claim that every single Palestinian is ethnically from here? Even the ones with the last name Al-Baghdadi, Al-Masri, Al-Halabi? So are they just not like the Mizrahi Jews as Muslims? Do you understand what I'm going for here? Your argument isn't making sense. Hope you guys vibe with what I'm saying. See you guys next one. Love you a long time. Goodbye, class. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.